Okay, so this is a PowerPoint that I made for my in-class classes who are having a quiz. My online classes, you're not having a quiz, so just ignore anything I say about that. Um, this is the first slide we want to look at. Um, when do you quote? Basically, when you want to use the language of your source as well as the idea. When you just want the idea, you of course are going to be paraphrasing. So this is a good slide for explaining the difference between quoting and paraphrasing. Basically, if you're taking an idea from an author and you put it in your own words, you need to get the author's name cited and you need a page number generally, if you have a page number. If you're going to quote an author and you're going to use their wording, make sure you've got their wording in quotation marks and then cite the author's name and the page number if you have it. That's the basic idea of doing this. And so usually what you're going to have is what we call a signal phrase. And so here's an example of that. We've got Amanda Ripley here. We've got the fact that her article is in Time magazine to give her a little bit of credibility. You can always do that, use the magazine title. And we've got her article title as well. But really what we need for the signal phrase is this Amanda Ripley right here. We've got her name. And we've got, so this will be on the quiz for the people that are taking the quiz. Signal phrase can be as simple as getting the author's name in there. Let me show you a more simple version of it, which should just be here, just two authors' last names to introduce it. This is because these two have co-authored the book. And then the very simplest format, if you can't figure out how to incorporate a quote, this is the very simplest format, just according to Smith, according to Jones, according to Ripley in this case. This is the signal phrase once you have the author's name there. That'll be on the quiz. There's some other features here that you're going to be quizzed on, so you want to take a look at them. And one thing is so this is off of the script a little bit. That's okay. One thing is the punctuation. Look at this. There's a period. It's after the parentheses. It's not here. It's not here and here. There's just one period right there. That's how you punctuate your citation. And that's going to be on the quiz. Also, notice that there's no abbreviation for the page number. You just, if it's a page number, you just put the number in there. This is page 42. Doesn't need P period, doesn't need PG period, doesn't need PP period, just 42. Okay. Oh, the other thing is, notice that the name of the author is in the sentence. That's great because that's what's the works cited page is going to have Ripley too, and then I can find the quote. But I don't need Ripley here and then Ripley in the parentheses too. If you have the last name in your sentence, you don't need to put it in the parentheses. Just have it in one place. You don't need to be redundant and repeat it. If Ripley's here in the sentence, I know that the author is Ripley. I don't also need it here. So that's also on the quiz. Let's see. The next thing is the block quote. And you're going to be quizzed on just basically how to set up a block quote. The idea of a block quote is you don't want to torture your reader's eyes by having them search for those little quotation marks for 4 lines. So if you have a quotation that's longer than 4 lines, you want to set it up as a block quote. So you need to have a colon introducing it. The big difference is, since you're using all this white space in the indentation, you're indenting everything over here, 10 spaces or an inch. You don't need quotation marks for a block quote. That's on the quiz. Okay, indirect quotations are also on the quiz. Let me find these. This is probably going to happen to you. You're probably going to want to quote somebody that your author has quoted. Your author has quoted some expert. In this case, we've got, this is an article by Ripley, and she's quoted Roland Fryer, who's basically arguing that high school students should be paid cash in order to get good grades. That's what's going on in the article here. So Roland Fryer is the expert. He's the one that said this idea about paying students should be tested. These are his words. So you put his name closest to what he actually said in kind of a signal phrase here. And then you also have to credit the author for writing down the expert quote. So you use QTD in, meaning obviously quoted in Ripley, who's the author. So it means Roland Fryer said this, Ripley wrote it down. Make sense? QTD in. This person said it, it was quoted in this person's article, this person's book. You got to give credit to both people, especially Ripley, because that's what everything's going to be indexed under in your works cited page. And that's it. That's basically what's going to be on the quiz. And good luck.